Okay, so... Bobcat? Bobcat?
Yes.
Why is there another one here?
Another one went, oh, hey, we do have someone in the room.
Hello.
The virtual room, considering we're all in different states.
Why? Well, yeah, she is covered in corn. But why? Why is there another... We just had a guest star!
Because you can never have too many guest stars.
Oh, Jesus.
Just like Jell-O.
Yeah, exactly. There's always room for guest stars.
Are we Scooby-Doo now?
No, Don Knotts hasn't showed up yet.
Now I'm sad. He's never going to show up. I'm going to go raise someone from the dead right quick.
Well, while he's doing that, hello everyone, welcome to the 5 Point Podcast. And
Who are
this week
you?
I'm Bobcat.
Not you.
And my cantankerous co-host is Burke.
Who
And
are you?
I am Brainchild.
Hello, Branny.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, why don't you plug who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm a long-time listener, first-time recorder.
I'm so sorry.
Another D2 forumite. And I also do manga reviews at a couple of sites. The first one is my own personal blog spot where I do weekly reviews. The Manga Test Drive at mangatestdrive.blogspot.com. I am also a contributing writer for infiniterainyday.blogspot.com, which is a new site for anime and manga reviews featuring some other people from the forums, including friend of the show, Lilac.
Cool.
Oh yeah, she was telling me about that. I didn't know you were involved with that too. That's cool.
Yes. I will also be doing manga reviews there, along with other special stuff. You'll have to find out by reading it.
Yes, and there'll be links for that in
see,
places.
As you can see, Bobcat did not care enough to look this up.
Well, to be fair, I tend to stumble into shows blind anyway. May as well stumble into co-stars blind.
But that's
although
the band episode.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah. Man,
Yeah,
it's really a shame that
Evangelion the 15th.
yeah, really a shame that it was the Evangelion episode that everyone wanted us to do that wound up being the band episode.
One day. Anyways.
Never. So,
Brainy, what in the world are you making us watch? And by making us, I mean have made us.
To keep along with the B theme, we are watching B Gotta HK, or as Funimation relabeled it, Yamada's First Time.
I wonder why they renamed it that.
Because the Japanese title is completely unsaleable?
yeah, I mean, I kind of liked how they had to explain the ABC thing halfway through the series, and I was like, oh. Yeah, that was a better title.
The best translation I've seen is like B cup, H personality, and H is supposed to be like hentai, pervert, hurdy, her.
Oh.
So yeah, good choice on Funimation's part.
Yeah, that would be completely... That's a pretty impenetrable title there, even when I had it explained to me. Speaking of, let's get into our 5 points. Point number 1, first impressions. So when we invited Brainchild on, she gave us a list of series that she was interested in poking at, and I chose this one for the lack of Yuki/Semi.
Ook.
They weren't all yaoi shows.
No, but it came down to... we kind of went through a process, and it came down to 2 of them, and I was like, no, I refuse to watch anything with that mix of characters.
Okay, to be fair, the process was, hey, Burke, which of these shows do you want to narrow it down to? I don't know, these 2, I guess. What are they?
I've made this challenge publicly before. Show me a yaoi show that doesn't have those characters in them, or that doesn't have that relationship style, and I will watch it.
Oh, Brainy, you might actually know this. What is it called when it's it's not yaoi, but it is gay porn in Japan? Well, it may not even be gay porn, just gay romance. But
Shonenai?
No. It's about 2 burly guys, or 2 more...
Oh, Bara.
Yeah. There you go.
Bara's the one with all the big, buff, hairy guys, usually a lot of bondage involved.
Yeah, that's what we gotta find, Bobcat.
Uh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, she gave us a list of things that she was interested in poking at, and we wound up on this one. So had you seen this one before?
Yes, I actually own it.
Oh, okay. Which is technically against the rules of our stuff, but that's okay. A little late at this point. All right. So when you got into the series the first time, what were your impressions on it?
I remember hearing about it during the season it aired. It sounded intriguing, at least in premise. Enough so that when Funimation released it, I was willing to buy it. So I was mainly intrigued by the fact that it was an ecchi series centered around a girl. Because as far as I can think of, that does not happen. It's all either harems or magical girlfriends.
That's kind of similar to what I thought after watching the show. But first impressions wise, my first impressions were I had heard about this a little bit when it first came out because I happened to be bumming around Funimation's website at the time. And I, of course, it caught my attention such and such's first time, and I thought, that looks interesting or it looks terrible. But for some reason, I didn't take the plunge. So I had been curious about this one for a little bit, and this is part of why I love this podcast is because it forces me to take the plunge on stuff where I'm like, eh.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like quality, but more, I could watch something else that I know I like. I'm surprisingly awkward about trying new things.
That's nothing surprising.
So, Burke, what were your first impressions on this?
I saw a title.
Good answer.
I picked that, and I picked a yaoi apparently, and you picked this over the yaoi. And then I watched some episodes. That's about it.
Which is a good segue to point 2, story and characters.
Yay!
All right,
oh boy. So, here's the story. Someone's horny!
The end. Okay, it's a little more complex than that.
Yes.
Little like a... I'm not going to make that joke.
Right. So something about the structure of this show is that it's done, each episode is 2 11-minute blocks. And I think this was a good move on their part, because the source material seems to be that sort of 4 gag a day type stuff.
Yeah.
It's Invasion Squid Girl all over again.
Or Azumanga Daioh. No, Invasion...
The only thing she wants to invade is someone's pants.
Yes. So the structure with the show is episodes are shorter was a good move. Because...
Kept things snappy.
It didn't go all Lucky Star on us.
Every time I hear that comparison, like, it didn't go X on us, I just think, it didn't go school days on us. And I just wonder
That's
if
always a good thing.
I don't know if it's always a good thing, though.
Right, I mean, Kanekon would have been improved if it had gone school days at the end of it. The boy just snaps. You've been violating my privacy for too long. Stab.
See, that's justified. So, onto this thing. There's a 15-year-old who really, really wants to get laid.
Yes, that for me was the most interesting part of the show is Yamada herself, because it's so unusual in any sort of anime-related thing to see a girl with a sex drive. Because it's usually all, pure, innocent, shoujo fluffiness. Oh, why is my heart beating so fast? Oh, what are these feelings?
She has a little bit of that too, but it's not because she's unfamiliar with the concepts. It's just happening to her for the first time.
Yeah.
Yes. On the other hand, she's almost a little too obsessed, as is non-stop, as in almost every interaction she has outside of some secondary characters, she frames it with the mindset of sex. Like, they are trying to hit on her, or she thinks they're up to sex, or something like that.
They are up to sex.
she is oddly like Tomoko from Watamote that way.
Oddly a little bit, yeah. There's some comparisons that could be made, but... well, go ahead, Bobcat.
Right, I mean, the thing about Yamada is that she wants this to happen, but she has no self-confidence for reasons that I won't get into because they make me sound weird for saying them out loud.
I don't know if it's so much lack of self-confidence as it is awareness of what sex and relationships actually are. Like, she has a vague idea of what sex is, and she knows she really wants to have it, but when confronted with the actual steps towards getting there, she's either really confused or freaking out.
Right, or she's trying to go way too fast.
Yes.
Like, she wants to skip steps.
Also, bulges terrify her.
That was the best part. Oh god, I laughed so hard.
Yes. Which I think brings us to the source of that bulge. Boy,
Nice
whose
segue.
name I forget.
Takashi Kosada.
Kosada, that's right. Right. See, Yamada decided, all these suave guys have probably had hundreds of girlfriends. She literally thinks that they've had hundreds of girlfriends.
Because she presumes everyone is like her, and also wants to have sex with 100 people before she leaves high school because it will make her popular somehow.
Or it'll make her
reasons.
diseased, you know.
At least chafed.
Popular, diseased, chafed, same thing.
Possibly pregnant, you know.
I mean, like, chafed and... chafed and diseased, they both require creams.
But,
Anyway, Kosada.
Kosada is the lucky guy that she has chosen to...
Lucky.
Well, okay, it's like this. She decides, I'm going to go for a hyper loser because he'll be equally inexperienced. And then I can move on to bigger and better things.
Pretty much.
Which, okay, what I love about her is that you were mentioning earlier that you never see a perverted character who's actually female.
If you do, they're usually like hyperactive lesbians, not straight girls.
Right.
Or at the very least, they're not the main character, or
they're Kanekon.
Right.
Now, what I thought was interesting about her is that I've seen characters like her before. She does the whole tsundere thing. Oh, I'm not really interested in you. Why isn't he interested in me? Thing. I don't think I've ever seen a show from the perspective of a character like her. It's like you're seeing the harem anime from the perspective of the one girl, because there are other people sniffing around him.
Oh, yes. And honestly, were this any other sort of similar show like this, he would be the lead. He would be the completely normal guy who's suddenly surrounded with women. Oh my god.
But thankfully, this time around, we see it from the lead girl's point of view, including her narrative, which really sheds a good, unique light on the show.
Yes.
Right, that's the other place you could make the comparison to Watamote. The show mostly lives in her head. And
including her weird... What the hell is the little goblin thing that flies around on broom?
I believe they call it an arrow spirit. It's basically supposed to be a personification of her libido. It mostly serves as a Greek horse.
Should I ask why it has a mustache?
Because reasons.
Yeah. It seems like it's based on something Japanese, but I'm only a level 2 otaku, so I could not tell you which one.
I'm just a nerd.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. And there are some other characters around, but they're kind of...
flat.
Well, they're one-note gag characters.
Okay, let's be fair here. Most of the girls are not flat.
Yeah, that's something for point 4, but... It occurs to me, I've not used to the... Dang it, we kind of combined point 2 and 3.
We're always going to combine.
But I mean, we forgot the premise point. We forgot the new point number 2. Darn it. Which is okay because we've communicated the premise. So we're really on point 3 right now.
Yeah,
I knew something was
just
off.
assume that there was a break somewhere, guys, and after I said she wants to sleep with hundreds of guys, we started talking about story and characters there. Yeah. Smooth editing, Bobcat, no one will notice.
Now, one thing I'll say about Kosada is that he is a nice guy.
And not in a douchey way.
Yes,
not in a douchey way. He's not a nice guy.
He's a likable guy. Let's put it that way. What
Honestly,
I like...
though, he's kind of bland. I mean, he's nice. It's just very generically so. The most notable thing is that he's into photography.
You know what he kind of reminds me of?
Who?
Imagine if Shinji Ikari grew up without any familiar problems. Like, mom and dad both totally fine, and Shinji Ikari is now like 15, and he took up an interest in photography.
So, in other words, the Shinji Ikari Raising Project?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. That's how bland this guy is.
Also, apparently he eats better in a world where there wasn't Second Impact.
Yeah, he's kind of... I'm not sure if he's just supposed to be chunky or kind of just big.
I think he's muscular.
It's hard to tell.
Right.
He's definitely not supposed to be as skinny as some of his other classmates.
Yeah. But what I like about Kosada is the moments where he is obviously interested in her because, from his perspective, the most popular girl in school inexplicably decided to start hanging out with him.
Even if she's constantly sending him mixed messages.
Yes. It's like, I like you. It's like, I like you. I don't care.
Yells at him 1 minute, flashes her bra the next.
Right, it's like, what's going on?
Tries to make out with him, runs away from his penis.
Tries to make out with him in the dark room, he doesn't even notice.
Doesn't even notice that he gropes her.
Nah, that couldn't be. I think that's his problem, is that he just refuses to believe that what's happening is happening.
Can you blame him?
No, I can't. Which is part of what makes him so hilarious. I mean, really, Yamada's doing this terribly.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
He's the straight man to her. Literally.
Right? Though
I certainly hope so for her sake.
No, but I mean, like, he's the straight man. He's set up for all the jokes.
Right. And then you have her best friend. I almost said breast friend because...
I can't blame
you. We'll get to that.
Yeah, her best friend, Takashita. I hope I'm not mangling that.
No one cares.
Right. She barely is ever called by name. I don't think... If you hadn't known it, I would have said... I don't know if anyone ever actually called her by name or if it was all pronouns.
It popped up here and there.
Yeah, she has a phantom boyfriend somewhere or other that does not matter at all.
Right. She's the other straight man for when Kosada isn't around.
Yes.
She's the one with the vagina.
And she's there for moral support and mostly to serve as Yamada's conscience. In other words, to tell her when she is being ridiculous.
Not that it really matters much. Though, one more thing about Yamada. And you notice that when we're talking about other characters, I keep thinking of more things to say about Yamada. So you can see who really gets the focus in this show.
That's because all the characters build into Yamada.
She is the river, and they are all merely tributaries.
Well, there's a reason why Funimation renamed the show after her specifically. But yeah, she is the driving force of this animes.
Yep. The other thing I like about her is that she is deep down nice. I think it was Benjamin Franklin once said that virtue is what you do when no one's watching. She keeps doing the reasonable, nice thing when it's really not in her best interest to do so. Like, she's trying to scare another girl away from Kosada, and she has in her mind this big mean girl speech ready. Mm-hmm. And accidentally winds up encouraging this girl to go confess her feelings. And winds up volunteering to be her confidant in this whole endeavor.
Thankfully, this spirals out of nowhere.
You mean goes nowhere?
that does bring us to the last character of note, the said girl in question, the neighbor girl, Miyano.
AKA Breaster Friend.
And she is just moe as hell.
Yeah.
I mean, she's, the childhood best friend. She has glasses. She has big boobs. She's just so shy and can't confess her feelings. She even cooks.
And her face is, of course, a blob.
Of course.
Yeah, all the other characters get faces, not her. Which actually is a reasonable segue to point 4 if you're ready to go there.
Well, are you?
I am.
I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay, point 4, production. Everything that isn't writing related. First off, I think the biggest thing to me is sub versus dub.
I did not actually watch the sub.
I watched about 3 minutes of the sub before concluding, no, I'm much happier with the dub.
I admittedly didn't get around to the sub either.
Dub supremacy!
In all fairness, it's a good dub.
Oh, yeah.
A little slangy, trying maybe a little too hard towards to sound like all the hip kids these days.
Creeper, creeper, creeper.
But it is genuinely funny and very enthusiastically performed, especially on the part of Yamada's dub voice actress.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I really, at this point, I would be happy watching the Funimation crew dubbing just about anything.
I think my favorite little gag, just because you do not expect to hear this, and it just sounds so funny in English. It's when she has her bikini, and she goes, yeah, this says, do me.
Yeah, I mean, my gosh. I think I've reached this point where if it's a comedy, I will watch it dub first and stay there unless it's a bad dub.
Yes.
That's a safe bet.
For two reasons.
Go.
First, 2 reasons. One reason is that, okay, comedy is all about timing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When you're watching a comedy series subbed, the timing is lost because it takes you just a fraction of a second longer to read what's supposed to be funny. Reason 2, in the subs they try to stay closer to the original Japanese, and I don't know if anyone out there is aware of this, but puns don't translate at all.
You think?
And the problem is Japan loves puns. Loves them to death.
Right. I mean, I do have to wonder how, say if you're watching the Avengers, how the shawarma things translates in Middle Eastern countries where they actually eat shawarma.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna eat our normal cuisine. Okay, whatever, weirdos.
Right, whereas the joke to an English audience is, it's something kind of obscure that sounds funny when you say it out loud.
Yeah, a large part of the joke is lost because the joke isn't being told to you. You're having to have it. It's having to be explained to you. That's one reason why I don't understand people who prefer only subs, especially with comedy anime.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
There's also something else to notice. There's also the matter of delivery. And
Yes.
when you're watching something in a language you don't necessarily speak firsthand or may not be completely fluent in, it's kind of lost. It'd be the same thing like trying to watch a French comedy. Just like, I don't get it.
I'm sure this is hilarious in your language, but I don't speak it.
And I do often question if it is actually hilarious. I remember trying to watch a subbed episode.
Okay, no.
Okay, let me finish. I remember watching a subbed episode of Sergeant Frog years ago after falling in love with the dub. And after about 5 minutes, I gave up on it because I concluded, okay, either the jokes are just whizzing right over my head, or they turned the gags per minute way up in the English dub.
The answer is yes.
It seemed like the line was that they were, or every line was just sort of a matter-of-fact explanation. We're going to play soccer. Yeah, soccer. We're playing soccer.
That sounds like well, honestly, I can't even say that's a bad translation because it's a comedy. That's about how the translation would work.
Yeah, and sometimes it works to the show's benefit. I mean, that's basically what they did with Yu Yu Hakusho, but everybody loves that dub, despite being very old and crusty these days.
Right. Well, and that, again, it comes down to the delivery. The voice actors they got were mostly awesome.
Yeah.
And they rewrote it liberally to give the characters some personality.
Oh boy, can that be lacking elsewhere.
Yes. So yeah,
So,
watch the dub first. If you really just are offended by the concept of listening to English, I'm sorry that you hate your native tongue so much.
unless you do not speak English, at which point,
Why have you been listening to us for 26 minutes?
you know, how are you?
Also, I have to give points to the adaptive script for coming up with so many terms for both virginity and sex. My particular favorite was freak nasty nasty. Or is it freak nasty?
I liked getting all up in her guts.
Oh god!
That just made me think of a zombie movie.
Speaking of phrases you never thought you'd hear in a dub.
Yes.
So, why are there so many mostly naked 15-year-olds?
Because fan service sells.
Yeah.
Why do they have to be 15?
Because it's high schoolers, it's required. They're hoping to appeal to those otaku that would normally watch these shorter shows, but would be normally turned off by a female lead.
Please be 18 at least.
Sadly, that didn't work out in Japan. Apparently, this was a big flop.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a shame. So I guess no season 2 is on the way.
No. I can't say I'm completely surprised.
It is different. And if the upcoming season of anime series tells me anything, they don't like different.
Nope. Just give us that same format, that same checklist over and over again.
Japan is in trouble.
But what else can be said for the production? The animation is...
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's not bad. It's bright. It's colorful. It's on model.
It has energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It supports the jokes.
It's not as fluid as Kanakon. Is that right, Bobcat?
Also, there are a lot of visual gags.
I am forced to concede this, but I do so grudgingly. You troll, you.
If you didn't know...
Go crawl under a bridge, troll.
If you didn't know, Brainy, the one real redeeming factor of Kanakon is that it actually has really good animation for the year.
Yay?
No, not yay. It means that someone wasted effort on this.
Anyways, you know, the voice acting's fantastic, as we said. The music's kind of meh.
Yeah, I kind of prefer the opening to the ending, but both of them are just very poppy and high pitch, and it's all about first love, blah de blah de blah.
I actually really like the opening theme, but I like it because it's fun and poppy, and I would not like this theme if it was for Kanakon.
You like that one Wolf pop song, too.
Right. What I'm getting at is that the opening theme has to really match the show, and boy, does that opening theme get me in the right mindset.
I was really hoping you'd say mood.
mindset. The mindset of insanity and peppiness and energy and whatnot. Although, shame on you for so many bouncing bosoms in the opening theme. Come on, guys. I know you're trying to attract the wrong audience, but...
Boobs! Now that you've tuned in, please watch this anime.
That sort of challenges what you expect to see in this kind of show.
Yes.
All right. I can't think of anything else under production, so I guess that brings us to final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Guest first.
My final thoughts are, I enjoyed it. It wasn't a completely perfect experience. I thought the storylines relied a bit too much on kind of the stereotypical slice of life things like, oh, we're going to the beach or water park, whatever. Oh, we're going to go to school festival time.
I think this might be the fastest I've ever seen an anime go to the school festival. I mean, episode 3.
Yeah. Usually that waits till near the end. Or the middle.
But on the other hand, it's just so refreshing to just see an ecchi series that a girl can appreciate. And while Yamada might be over the top, it's just really refreshing to see a character like her. Someone who's kind of sex crazed and really blatantly flawed. She's actually decently written for this kind of show, and I really rather appreciate that.
Well, she's definitely a better person than Tomoko.
Yes, but that was on purpose.
Well.
So yeah, I liked it. I would recommend it to others. Doesn't help that it's short. I mean, it's only like 13 episodes.
Which
Well,
I guess...
Bobcat.
I also recommend this show. My only thing to know about it is that Funimation currently has it hidden firmly behind the paywall. The first 2 episodes you can watch for free. Past that, you either have to buy the DVD, buy it off of Amazon or Xbox or iTunes, or pay them their monthly subscription fee.
Unless you're us, and you get the 2-week free thing.
And then immediately cancel before they charge money.
Yes.
I'm already paying for Crunchyroll. I don't have time for 2 of these.
Oh, how we suffer for art.
I agree with Brainchild's assessment. It's not necessarily perfect, but it's fun. And fun trumps perfect in my mind.
Yes.
I would much rather watch something that's fun than something that's kind of dreary but perfect. It's like, if the show is designed to make me feel like I've been punched in the gut, and it does so perfectly, well, great. Can't I just laugh at something that's like a B plus, A minus?
No. So, would you recommend it?
Oh yes. Just be aware, you're going to be paying somehow for it. Past episode 2.
Unless you are unscrupulous. So! Yeah, it was okay. It was very good for what it was. Whatever. It's not the show I would track down and watch on my free time at all. Whatever. If you happen to hear that, that was 2 cats fighting out my window. Yep, there they are. Honestly, it's a good show. It has good characters. It has fairly good writing. It has good dub work. It's not a bad way to waste some time.
Yeah, if you're looking for an ecchi series that doesn't completely suck, watch Yamada's First Time.
Or you can watch Catacon, right, Bobcat?
You are a terrible human being. Okay, episode's over. It's ruined. Brainchild will link to your stuff. Go check her out. I've been reading her on and off for years.
She's stalking you.
She actually kind of does. I actually kind of think of her as doing for manga what we do for anime here. So, if you like first impression stuff, give her site a shot.
Brainy, next time we're watching a Bara anime.
Good luck finding one.
Yay! Bye.